Daddy Daycare. Dave Allen, how are you, mate?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Yeah,
Tired?
ready for the
Tired?
day. Yeah, they're all these days are all into one night. Go up every 2 or 3 hours at night.
No, it doesn't get any
You know,
easier.
I'm not really
Like it.
sure. Not really sure about anything in there. No, the problem is just don't listen to me. You know what I mean? I keep saying to her, just come on, be patient, be quiet, shut up. Don't listen to any of it. It's
Are
mad,
you,
really.
are you talking about the missus now or better?
Yeah, both of them, both of us knows each other.
Well, congratulations to you both, mate. You got a big journey ahead now, pal. You'll love it.
Oh, it's gone great so far. Well, she's healthy in that, so I can't really ask for more than that.
No, exactly, exactly.
That's why I carried on boxing for so long, because I just kept having kids, so I could just fuck off to camp every time I
No,
had
you know what
one.
it is? It's just, I find myself standing over a cot just staring at her, when I should be asleep. I have to sleep with torch on and I'm checking every 5 minutes. And then before you know it, it's 4 in the morning and you're like, oh, God, I've got to be up in 2 hours. And then you're up and I'm at the gym. I'm making 6 phone calls while I'm at the gym. Is she all right? What's she doing? It's just, I don't think I'll have any more because I'm a worrier, mate. I worry about everything. So when I've got a kid at home, it's just brutal. I'm just like, what's she doing at all times? So
But we'll go back to boxing stuff. Go away from changing nappies for a second, and we'll go. I want to talk to you about obviously the mega fight coming up tomorrow. But first, I want to talk to you about a couple of other big issues, big fights going on in the heavyweight division. Um, I know you're pally with Tyson Fury, know him very well. Derek Chisora too. We were just talking, me and Brian, about this whole kind of Chisora Fury saga and also this kind of retired, not retired saga. And it feels like to me that Tyson's actually losing a little bit of like the respect and kind of hero status that he had with the boxing public now, with this kind of like, I'll fight for free, I'll fight for 500 million, I'm retired, I'm not retired. Where do you think his head's at, and what do you think his next move will be?
well, I love Tyson. I know him a long time. I think he's a great fella. But it wasn't the second fight wasn't even competitive 8 years ago. And Tyson's a lot better now. I think he is. I'm listening to what he's saying. I'm just you're cringing, aren't you?
Mm.
It's like Joshua Usyk's happening. Let it happen. Don't doesn't diminish Tyson's abilities because they're having a huge fight. I love Tyson, me, but I wish he'd just be quiet. Let their fight go on and enjoy it. And if you're gonna box, you can box the winner. If you're not gonna box, then retire. And you've done great. Talking order is awful. Fury's order should never happen.
He'll always be in a position, won't he, to fight the winner of them two. So he doesn't need to do what he's doing. Like, he'll always be in that position. He's got number one status in my eyes. So like you say, he's in a great position. So doing what he's doing is just uncalled for, isn't it?
He's losing a lot of what he gained. It took him a long time to get the public on side.
Mm.
I remember Sports Person of the Year. They wouldn't even have him in the running, and look where he got to. But now I look at it now and I just think, mate, come on, this
Yeah.
is all a thing, bollocks. Saying you're going to give money to charity and all that never happened. Just don't say it. I realise myself now. Don't talk. Just stop talking. I realise now you can say too much. You're better off not saying anything.
Yeah.
People will pick and prod at you. I've been guilty in the past, but with Tyson, it's like he's the main man. You want to box Joshua Usyk, box him. Don't say you're going to box him for free, then you want 500 million. Just go about your business. Be quiet. Just do your thing. He's the main man. He hasn't got to. I don't get it, me. He's got all the profile in the world. I'm not sure why he needs to talk all the time.
I think he needs more boxing more than he makes out, Tyson. All this stuff, even in the gym with Andy Lee with the body shots and the middleweight couldn't take these and stuff. I think there's a part of Tyson Fury that's upset and feels like he's missing out this week because this fight is huge. And I think he wants to be involved in it. And all this chat about he's done and stuff. Whoever wins this fight, whether it be Usyk or Joshua, Tyson Fury will be fighting them. And the fans need to see that fight. I think that's the real truth.
History won't look back on it, can you? Never even boxed Joshua or Usyk. If Joshua wins and boxes Joshua and he loses to Joshua, he'll be forever remembered as the man who lost to Anthony Joshua. So, I don't begrudge these men at the top of the sport, really. They've got millions of pounds, but the pressure that comes with it and all the spotlight on them and stuff can't be easy. But I don't really look at social media, so I'm not really sure what people are saying. Even I'm getting a bit turned off by it. Just like box the winner or retire. And if you're retiring, then retire.
Yeah.
Don't come out every 2 minutes and say something else.
That's fair enough. want to ask you both if he does fight the winner, wherever it may be, is he the top man? Does he beat both of them? I think he does.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he's just too big and big all because he's got similar traits to Usyk, a very good boxer, but he's just too big. He'd just lean on Usyk, and that's what Joshua needs to do, really, in my opinion. I think he needs to lean on him, target the body more, and that's the way he beat Usyk. He doesn't like a body shot, apparently, but so I think Tyson Fury beats both of them.
Yeah, I think I think he'd be a big favourite to beat both. I would give Anthony Joshua more chance of beating Fury than I would Usyk. Even though I think Usyk, obviously beating the first time, I think he'll beat him again. I would give Joshua more chance of beating Fury. I think the way to beat Fury is put him on his back, put him flat out. And Anthony Joshua is more than capable of doing that. Yeah. There's a different question entirely if he actually could do it. But I think Joshua's got a better chance of beating Fury than Usyk. Usyk probably too small. All I care about really is the winner Saturday boxing Tyson Fury. I don't care who wins Saturday, to be honest. Yeah. But I would just love to see the winner box Fury.
Let's move on to Saturday. The closer it gets to this fight, the more excited I'm about it. I honestly feel like it feels like the biggest heavyweight spectacle we've had in a long, long time. I've actually, as it's drawn closer, I'm starting to believe more and more that Anthony Joshua can win this fight. I think he's going to have to go back to basics. He's going to have to be more aggressive, like Brian says. Lean on him, goes to the body. The same tactics aren't going to work. One of the things that upsets me is I feel like there's almost like a lack of respect for Anthony Joshua. If you look at his resume, without a shadow of a doubt, he's got the best resume. He's fought the best fighters. He's avenged his loss. He's going back to try and do that again. Do you feel like people saying that it's a done conclusion, Usyk's winning again, and not giving Anthony Joshua enough respect?
Well, I give Joshua a bigger chance this time round than the first time round. The first time round, I couldn't see how we'd beat Usyk, but I still would pick a Usyk win. But over time, Anthony Joshua and me, I never was a big fan of him, but I always respect him. He always has boxed the best. He doesn't chat shit. He just gets on with the job. He boxes everyone. He beats them more often than not. He's the real deal. So over time now, I've started to have a newfound respect for him. As a boxer and as a man. So I do think he's got a chance Saturday. I don't think Anthony Joshua's physically very strong. I've inspired him a lot. He's not very physically strong. So I think the idea of him, trying to get on top of Usyk and use physical strength, he's a lot bigger than him, but I don't believe he's much stronger than him. Derek Chisora is physically very strong. I've inspired him, but I don't think Anthony is. But the thing with Anthony is he does punch hard and he punches fast. So the way I think he should, the jab the first time around was not existing. It wasn't even a jab; it was a paw on the right hand. He was placing it, so he has to go out there and just hit Usyk hard and really, and forget about Usyk's head. Don't even aim for his head for the first 4 or 5 rounds because you ain't going to hit it. Just hit him hard in the body, hit him in the arms, the shoulders, the hips, anywhere. Don't think you should use physicality. Just hit him. My advice if I was in the corner, I'd just hit the fucker anywhere.
I think you're right though. The problem the first time around, and I know through my own experience, I hate southpaws because I can't hit them with a jab. My jab's good, and if I can't hit someone with a jab, I struggle. And I think he's seen that in Usyk the first time. I think he was trying to throw that jab like he used to. He lands it solid, doesn't he? And I just don't think he could land it. And then when you're not landing the jab, the right hand's not there. The timing's not there, and like you say, I think that's what he struggled with. So if you like you say, he aims for the chest, aims for the body. As long as he's hitting something, his shoulder, then he's setting the right hand up, isn't he?
Yeah, if you're hitting someone, you're not going to tire as much either. He hits a lot of fresh air last time. And I think in fights I've had, when I hit people, I'll hit them all day. I'll just keep going. When you're hitting someone, you think, this is all right, I'll just keep hitting him. But when you're missing, your confidence, your head starts to go down a bit, and then you start getting it back. I give Anthony Joshua a big chance this time around. I think as smart as Usyk is, and as I sparred Usyk, I think we sparred 6 times, and every single time he got better and he took something away from me. So there is that worry for Joshua there that Usyk's that clever, he's got him all worked out. But I just think Anthony Joshua went so badly wrong the first time. The tactic was so wrong. The fucking people in the corner talking bollocks all the way through the fight, and how good he's doing. He just couldn't have gone any worse. It couldn't have gone any worse the first time around. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, the improvement, it could be so vast, with the physical size advantages, he could turn it around. So I'm proper intrigued by it because I couldn't confidently predict what I think will happen.
You feel like there's an element of no lose for Usyk as well, because reality is he is a cruiserweight. Naturally he's come up, he's won the heavyweight titles. If Joshua comes out and gets aggressive and stops him, Usyk could probably still walk away from this fight and say, well, I'm one of the best to ever lace it up. I lost my division, I stepped up, won the belts, and eventually, size just fell short. Whereas with Joshua, I really think with Joshua, if he loses this fight, although there'll probably always be a payday for him in Wilder or Joshua or Fury, sorry, it kind of like is the last throw of the dice for Joshua. This, I feel like the pressure is all on him.
I thought Maurice Brady's beat Usyk. I thought he bullied him out of it. I thought Brady's beat him. So for me, if Anthony Joshua can't beat Alexander Usyk, I think Alexander Usyk is one of the best fighters of all time, but he's only a cruiserweight. If he can't beat Usyk in 2 attempts, I don't think he's finished, but he'll not go down to the best heavyweights there's been. So I do think it is a must win for Anthony. I don't think it's a must win in terms of the career will be over if he don't, but it's a must win if he wants to be recognised one of the best heavyweights. Because if he can't beat Usyk in 2 attempts at heavyweight, I don't think he's going to remember us all that. So there is a lot of pressure on him, a hell of a lot of pressure, and I don't begrudge the position he's in at all. But I seen Johnny Nelson saying his career is over. It's not over because he can make 10 million against Dylan White, which is mind blowing, isn't it? So.
There will always be fights out there for him. But I'll put you both on the spot, as I always do. How do you see it going? What's the outcome?
I think Joshua is going to target the body. I spoke about him being strong, and if he sparred with him and said that he's not as strong as he looks, then maybe he won't do that. But I think Usyk's a little bit weaker to the body. I think if you've got to pick anything bad about Usyk, it'll be him taking a body shot, because I've seen in other fights him be hurt to the body. And I think that is the way of slowing him down. And he's agile and he's quick. And if you can take that away from him, I think Joshua's in with a massive chance. So I'm going to say Joshua between 4 and 8.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility. And when I was saying Anthony Joshua not physically strong, because I don't think Alexander Usyk was either. When I compare them to your Chisoras and your Joe Joyces, they're not it's not comparable. I think Anthony Joshua will come out faster with a proper jab. I think he'll step in behind it. I think Garcia was a good move for him. I'm not sure why Angel Fernandez is doing the pads at the open workout. I don't know why he still needs 2 coaches. I can't get my head around that. But I think he'll come out aggressive, and I think it is the right thing to do. I think that'll play into Usyk's hands. I think Alexander Usyk, when he has Anthony Joshua in front of him, I think the difference in foot and hand speed is that big. I think Anthony will walk onto something early, and I think we'll see him down a few times and be all over around halfway. I think Anthony Joshua is fantastic fighter. I think Alexander Usyk is all wrong for him being a southpaw and being that much quicker than him, and the fact that Usyk can really punch. I think Usyk looks at big heavyweights, Fury's side, and I just think he's on a different level completely. I think the cruiserweights, your Bradis and even a Cole and a few others, they're beating all the top heavyweights in my opinion. They're still 15 stone, 15-3, and they're still massive men. But they're so much more agile, than the heavyweights. I've sparred the top cruiserweights. They're on a different level to the top heavyweights. Different level altogether with the speed. I'm 2 or 3 stone heavy. I sparred Lawrence Okoli. It was on a different level to every heavyweight I've ever sparred, apart from me, Fury and the Usyk. Different level in terms of speed, in terms of power. You can't let go on too fast, but there's still a big lump in the still as ours heavyweight. So for me, I just think Usyk is just too good for him and beat Joshua 10 times out of 10.
So eye-opening that, Dave. I've got to say, it's probably sitting on the fence here, but I think if Joshua does come out with a different strategy, much more aggressive, works body, and it all goes his way, I think Joshua can win the fight. But, going away from my heart and going back to my head, I just feel like you'll have much of the same. And I feel like Usyk will actually stop him in the later rounds this time around. Because if you go back to the last fight, you look at the 30 seconds before the bell, he was out, really, Joshua. And I just think Usyk will get even better, adjust, and I think he might stop him in 9, 10, 11, that kind of area. I hope that doesn't happen. I really, really want Anthony Joshua to win this fight, but yeah, I can't see it going that way for him.
I just want to Brian one last question as well, Brian.
Go on.
You was a light middleweight, right? best, weren't you? Like, you was a
Yeah.
light middle, weren't you? Would you have rather boxed a middleweight or a light welter? But the light welter is as strong and punches as hard as a middleweight, but he's got the speed of a 10-stone man. Who would you rather box?
Probably the middleweight. Probably
that
the
makes
middleweight.
any sense, yeah.
Yeah, so probably the middleweight, but it depends how many rounds. So I used to, when I was a light middleweight, I say fully, but I was probably always a middleweight, but screwing my weight down. I'd spar with likes of Martin Murray and other people that I probably won't name, but like I do really well for 6 or 7 rounds, really well. Like get better of the spar, but then after the 7 or 8 rounds, I'd be fucked because they'd be like stronger, leaning on me a little bit, and they gradually get on top and probably would have stopped me later on. Whereas that was me at like middleweight. I'd be the one leaning on. I'd be the stronger one stopping them down. So it depends over how many rounds.
Yeah.
Ideally, I would have probably picked the middleweight because I don't want the elusive, quicker, and he's strong.
Yeah. That's what I think. I was thinking. Usyk, he's that smaller man, but he's got the high class. He's got the elite level power and everything else. Anyway,
yeah, it's his boxing skills, isn't it? His boxing skills are immense. Like they're unbelievable. They're better than anyone. Like someone compared him to Tyson Fury the other day in terms of technical ability. I just don't think Tyson Fury's as good as him technically because Tyson Fury's different. Tyson Fury doesn't know where his shots are coming from. So how's his opponent supposed to know? I think what Usyk does is he's so calculated. He knows every punch is going to land. He's timing his feet. He's just on a different level to anyone else. But the only issue was the weight for me. I just feel like Joshua can bully himself to a win on Saturday night. I really believe it. But can't argue anyone that says Usyk is going to outbox him again. You know, it's just opinions.
For me, Anthony Joshua, he spent so long on the Great Britain squad as an amateur, and then later on with Mcpherson being trained by him. He's never been like George Foreman would bully his opponents. He would use his size. He was trained to use that size, to use them physical attributes like that. But Anthony Joshua, all he's ever been shown is bouncing in and out, jab, 1, 2. He doesn't know how to time up, push his head down, time up properly. He doesn't know what he's doing. So for me, he could be physically stronger, but he doesn't know what he's doing. That for me is the people keep saying he's gonna outstrength him. How? He doesn't know how to do it. Well, so you can't bear him. You're not gonna pick up and squeeze him. So he doesn't. And I don't think Robert Garcia in 12 weeks can show him how to do that. He's gonna have to punch his way. He's gonna have to use his physical size by punching him, not by. He doesn't know. He can't fight inside.
Yeah, very good at the basics.
I mean, he can't do the same. Just spend so long.
Yeah,
they spent so long on the Great Britain squad. Yeah, I think the skill has been lost. I just don't. Everyone keeps saying he's going to use his size and bully him. I don't think he knows how to do it.
I think it's going to be a great one. Whatever happens, it feels like the biggest fight that I've seen in recent times, especially at heavyweight. There's something sort of spectacular about it all. I guess we'll catch up after the fight and see how it transpired. But before we let you go, Dave, you've always been someone who's maybe struggled to stay dedicated with your training, struggled to keep yourself in tip-top shape. But now Betty's come along, I see the perfect inspiration for you. Keep yourself fit as a fiddle. So in about 17 years' time, when a potential kind of boyfriend comes to the door, you can have your Mike Lowry bad boys moment where you can just rock up, shirt off, and be like, what's your intention, son?
Well, I'm all right. I've got a few mates that are bigger than me, so I'll just ring them and get them to come around instead. Yeah, I'll be all right. I've just... I've been training. My weight is as low as it's been for a long time. So, it's in a difficult position, as Brian knows, when I've kind of been there at a good level and I'm on the way down now. You get the odd phone call, do you want to box so-and-so in a couple of weeks for this amount of money? And you think, yeah, I do really, but I don't lose them. So I might have beaten him a few years ago. So it's a difficult one. The opportunities are few and far between these days, but we'll see. Well, everything's all good, so I'm not really worrying too much about the boxing at the minute.
Mate, they'll come, mate. You've got more important things to worry about at the moment. Thanks for coming on, mate. I'm looking forward to catching up and seeing you all. And enjoy daddy duties, mate. And enjoy the fight on the weekend. Cheers, Dave. Top man, mate.
Thanks, Dave.
Mate. See you later,
Thanks, mate.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.